You're listening to the Outer Banks This Week podcast, a place for people to hear what's going on up and down the beach and get the truth about what really goes on around the Outer Banks. So, here we go.
Yes, indeed, Lexi. Here we go. Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode 42. We're embarking on 42 episodes deep, and we're still rolling right along. I tell you, I just want to talk a little bit about right now. We've had some really crazy weather. So at the time of the recording of this podcast, last night into this morning, we had some pretty intense weather. They actually had to give like the kids a 2-hour delay here, and rightfully so. I remember going to the gym this morning, and the ponding on the road was pretty intense. So like I always wonder whenever they do these 2-hour delays whether or not they're necessary. You know what I mean? You sit back and you think, when we were kids, and I'm only 39, so that wasn't too terribly long ago, but I remember situations where it started snowing. Like, we knew that snow was coming, but they still made us go to school. And then as soon as the snow started falling, they let us out of school. I believe it was a tropical depression that really kicked things into high gear for making sure that the kids stay safe around here, which I completely 100% appreciate that they do. It was like Burl, tropical storm or tropical depression Burl had rolled up on top of us. I want to say it was one of those early season tropical depressions. It was like in like mid-May, about 10 years ago, maybe longer than that, maybe like 12 years ago. Regardless, it dumped so much rain that like on the bypass, it had flooded completely, and people were not able, their cars were stalling out in the middle of the road. I remember where I lived in Nags Head, it was like a bowl. It ran down from the road, down our parking lot, all the way down to where my brother and I parked our vehicles when we were living in Nags Head. And it got so deep that we had to move our vehicles to the other side to the real estate office that was across the street, because when you stepped out of our front door, and we were on the second story, we were on the second floor of our duplex. When we walked down our steps, it was probably like 3 or 4 steps up that where the water was. It was pretty insane. That was probably the most rain I'd seen ever here on the Outer Banks. It flooded a lot of different places out. I remember Hurricane Matthew flooded, but that was a different animal altogether. That was pretty intense for a lot of people. For where I was, though, with Tropical Depression Burl, again, probably in 2011, 2012, that was a lot. So back to what I was saying, though, you got to appreciate the steps and measures that they're taking now, going ahead and putting these 2-hour delays in effect, canceling school ahead of time to prevent anybody from having to get out on the road and potentially getting in an accident or getting hurt in some way, shape, or form. So putting the kids first, it's an amazing thing. Shout out to Superintendent Steve Bassnight for doing those types of things. That's just, I mean, the weather, again, it's not been too terrible around here, in my opinion. It's been rather tolerable. We've had some cold and blowing days, but then it's like the temperatures will shoot back up to like 65 degrees. And I know what some of y'all are probably thinking. You're thinking to yourself, gosh, Justin, you know, like that's true. And that's kind of pleasant. But at the same time, that causes a lot of people to get sick. I remember there's an old saying that my great grandparents used to say, a warm winter made a fat cemetery. And it's like, I guess you're right. And I don't like to think about that, but at the same time, it's like we need the cold sometimes to kill some of the viruses, I guess. I think that makes sense. Maybe. I don't know. Regardless of all of that, we're 2 weeks from Christmas, around 2 weeks from Christmas, week and a half from Christmas, depending on when you're listening to this. We might be Christmas when you listen to this. But regardless, there's lots of fun things that are going on that I'm going to get into in just a few moments. I want to go into some shout outs real quick, though. I want to start today. The recording of this podcast is December 11th, and it is my wife's birthday. Okay. I don't know that she'll listen. Sometimes she listens, sometimes she doesn't, but I want to say happy birthday to Carrie, my sweet wife. Love her so much. I don't even like to think about what my life would be like without her here. You know, so I want to tell her I love her very much, and I appreciate all of her love and support for all the different fun adventures and things that I like to try to do and take off on. And, you know, it's like when I just turned around one day, I was like, hey, I want to arm wrestle. She kind of looked at me like I was nuts, and she was like, all right, whatever. She looks at me like I'm crazy, but then she supports a lot of my efforts and different things. Again, I don't know where I'd be without her. She's given me 2 beautiful boys, and I love her so much. So, Carrie, happy birthday to you. Also want to say a happy birthday to my friend Kirk Saunders. Kirk, he's one of the funniest, most I love this guy so much. Kirk is a great individual. Kirk Saunders, he's a very quick-witted, funny individual. I remember speaking to him one time, and he told me, he said, he's like, my wife is so blessed to be married to me. He said, I love it. I wake up in the morning, my coffee is made, and there's a card by my coffee thanking me for marrying my wife, which is Eden Spencer, Eden Saunders. It's just, and I'm just laughing. I'm like, God, Kirk, you're so full of it, man. But like, he's a fantastic human being. He and his wife both. I love them very much. So Kirk, happy birthday to you as well, my friend. Very good guy right there. I love him a lot. I want to shout out to Danielle Howard. Danielle, very avid listener of the podcast, messages me from time to time, messaged me the other day, and I was like, man, dang, I've never given her a shout out. She's making that drive. I believe she lives up in Currituck, working up that way. So I wanted to shout out to Danielle, thank her for listening on a regular basis to the podcast. And I also want to shout out real quick, and I'll get into some more of this stuff in the events in just a little bit, but McAllister's Corner, okay? It's Two Roads Tavern, but it's called McAllister's Corner for the month of December. Let me tell you something. See, my wife loves the Home Alone movies, and I like them, but like I'm not over the moon loving them like she does. So last week, I took my wife, and we went into McAllister's Corner, which is in the Seagate North Shopping Center right there in Kittle Hills, in case you're not familiar, where Two Roads / McAllister's Corner is. And we went in there, and let me tell you, I felt like I was in the movie. They had the movie playing in there, first of all, which made it that much better. But every little corner in that place has something related to either the first or second Home Alone. And it is absolutely fantastic. The menu was great. The food options, the drink options. Of course, you can still get their normal menu as well, but they do have that specialty menu. I had some sort of Wet Bandit something or other, I'm pretty sure it was. I can't remember what it was called right now, but it was awesome. Such a very fun experience. And I told my wife, I was just like smiling. Like I just had the like permanent smile. I was looking around in there. And I know each one of the other 12 bars are like this as well. I know we went to Jingle 12 and got the ice fishing shack for my wife's birthday on this past Sunday night. And that was a lot of fun. That was a good time. My friend Whitney Holt, I didn't know she was going to be our waitress. She's like, hey, I was like, oh my gosh, what's up? But again, lots of fun things. And I encourage all of you to take advantage of going to these different places. Oh shoot. I got one more shout out that I need to do real quick. Like I almost forgot. So Outer Banks' own Big Bucks homemade ice cream. Want to shout out to them. You may have visited one of their 5 locations. They got them from Corolla to Mania. But if not, I highly recommend you do the next time you get a chance. But if you don't get a chance for a while, don't worry about it. It'll be okay. There's good news. Big Bucks now offers online ordering and can ship most of their delicacies nationwide to wherever you call home. They can do that now to celebrate the occasion. And to help you make the holidays happen, they're offering free shipping. Yeah, free shipping, but only for a limited time on their famous 3-layer ice cream cakes. Now, you can get free shipping when you buy $40 or more of their gourmet, handmade Belgian chocolates as well. You hear that? This is pretty awesome. So shipping is pretty fast, as I understand it. So that's what I've been told, that it's a pretty quick shipping process. So you have no trouble getting the goods by the time you need them. Just head on over to BigBucksOBX.com and place your order using the code SAVEBIG23. So you got to put in the code SAVEBIG23 at BigBucksOBX.com in order to get this free shipping. Now, it's only a limited time, but it's Big Bucks homemade ice cream, and it is pretty daggum good. Again, if you haven't had a chance to get your hands on some when you've been in town, now you can for their, the 3-layer ice cream cakes, or when you buy $40 or more of their gourmet handmade Belgian chocolates. I feel like I should say that, like gourmet homemade Belgian chocolates. Oh, nice. Yeah, Big Bucks homemade ice cream, an Outer Banks staple for quite some time. They got 5 locations up and down the beach. So again, go online, BigBucksOBX.com, place your order, and use the code SAVEBIG23. That being said, I don't have a guest today, but I do want you to go back and listen to the podcast, the special edition, the Christmas edition that we just did with Santa Claus. Very fun, it was a good time having Santa come down from the North Pole and listen. I definitely appreciated him being here. I didn't know if he was going to make it or not. He was telling me the weather up there was quite frightful, but down here on the Outer Banks, it's so delightful. And he was like, I'm going to make sure that I am there. So he flew in from the North Pole, and all was right with the world. We had a good time talking, and answering some of those lingering questions, like what he likes about the Outer Banks and his favorite places to go and things he likes to do. And then, of course, I had to ask him some other questions, like his favorite reindeer. Had to ask him about the, cookies and stuff like that. So go listen to that podcast with Santa Claus. Guaranteed you're going to like it. And who knows? You might learn a thing or two about good old Saint Nick. All right, we're gonna jump into some events, but I want to shout out right now to Gallup Roofing and Remodeling. Gallup Roofing and Remodeling, they started out as a roofing business, okay, back in 1952, founded by Roscoe and Gilda Gallup, and they did roofs for years. Now they've actually gotten into some of the remodeling sides of things on the exterior of homes. They do waterproof decks, gutters, insurance restoration. Like I said, exterior home repairs like that, as well as any type of roofing system that you need done, shake roofs, metal roofs, exterior. Well, I said the exterior home repair. Sorry. I'm looking at a sheet of paper here while I'm talking about it. I can't say enough nice things about Rex Simpson. He took it over back in 1990. He and his family, they have done a fantastic job running the business and keeping everything well-oiled and making sure that they get you all taken care of. You can visit them online at galluproofing.com or call them at 252-473-2888, and you can tell them you heard all about Gallup Roofing and Remodeling right here with us at the Outer Banks This Week podcast. All right, again, I told you to go back and listen to the Christmas edition of the podcast. That was a fantastic time. But I want to jump into some events. So I did mention the 12 Bars of Christmas just a few moments ago. I want to bring that up again. These themed places, now I haven't been to all of them, of course. I've only been to McAllister's Corner and Jingle 12. I'm going to try to hit up like Goombur's and Poor Rudolph's in downtown Manio, all the other different places. There's so many of them. And they have worked really, really hard to make this fantastic for everybody that comes in the door. The old ones, the little ones, the middle age, the young age, whatever you want to call yourself. There's something in there for everyone, and you're guaranteed to have a great time. I'll tell you, I love this so much. I wish that I had enough money in the bank to just kind of hit up every one of them every night of the week. But I am going to try to get to a few more of them if I can. But at least I've hit up McAllister's Corner and I've hit up Jingle 12, and I've had a phenomenal experience at both. These 12 bars are still going to be going on through, I believe, December 30th. Don't check me on that. Don't quote me on all that. All the events and everything that I'm going to talk about and all the details can be found online at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. Don't forget about Frost Colony, though, in downtown Manio. Frost Colony is the spinoff that our buddies Jared and Gino have put on because they did Ghost Colony, Broast Colony, and then they did the Harvest Colony, and now they've done Frost Colony. They kept everything themed. Now, they're not part of the 12 bars, but they're still a fantastic place nonetheless. They got a themed menu going on, and I aim to go over there next week to grab a bite with my guest that's coming next week, and I will tell you about him in just a few moments. Don't forget the Corolla Christmas Village is going on with all the different activities going on up there, the ice skating and all the different fun things that they've got taking place. But I do want to tell you about Friday. There's some couple things that are going to be going on at the brewing station that I thought were really neat. Friday, December 15th at 10 o'clock, the brewing station is going to have a Griswold costume party. For all of you that love the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation or whatever, I want to tell you the truth. I've never seen it. Yeah, I know. Blew your mind. Never seen it because I'm an Ernest Saves Christmas kind of guy. All right? I'll watch Ernest Saves Christmas on repeat. But I will tell you, I have found a new love for one Christmas movie that I did like and I've seen a couple of times, but I've started watching it again more here lately because I have a 9-year-old. But that's the movie Jingle All the Way. Okay? Jingle All the Way. It's got Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. It's about Turbo Man. And anyway, that's a fun movie to watch. But back on topic here, Brewing Station, 10 o'clock, Friday, December 15th, Griswold Costume Party. Coming up on Saturday, this coming Saturday from noon until 2, also at Brewing Station. I think this is going to be really fun for the kids. Frozen lunch with Anna and Elsa. So your lunch will be frozen. You have to chip through it with, a hammer or a mallet or whatever. And then when you get through the frozen part, you get to eat it with Anna and Elsa. Of course, that's completely false. But it's just the Frozen characters. I know Anna and Elsa. You get to have lunch with them from noon until 2 on Saturday. This coming Saturday, December 16th at the Brewing Station. I love so much how these places, again, like I said, the 12 bars and Brewing Station being one of them. The 12 bars doing things for the kids, the adults, and all else in between. Guaranteed to have fun, y'all. And if we don't participate in these things and we don't go and show these different businesses the love and support, they're going to go away. So I can't encourage you enough to go and see these places and take in everything that they have to offer, because they each one have their own uniqueness, and you're guaranteed to feel the love as soon as you walk in the door. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Let's take a look at the list here. Oh, gosh. Okay, coming up, a couple things on Sunday, December 17th, 9 a.m., they're having the Wright Brothers Day. It's the 120th anniversary of the Wright Brothers monumental historic flight. It's going to be at the Wright Memorial in Kill Devil Hills. Like I said, that's going to be a big event for a lot of people. I'm willing to bet there's going to be some reenactments, and there's going to be some different things that you get to learn and knowledge that you probably didn't acquire as a child or whatnot that you can take in while you're there. So that's happening starting at 9 a.m. at the Wright Memorial in Kill Devil Hills. But also that evening, you can shoot on over to Manio for the Kind Cocktails holiday party. So I was talking to my buddy Holden just the other day, and he was like, yo, man, having this big Kind Cocktails party in Manio. So it looks like 3 cocktail classes, or a 3 cocktail class rather, Cousins Oysters and live carol. So it's Dress Jolly. There's going to be a merchandise raffle, and Hunger Coalition fundraiser. It's all happening at this holiday party in downtown Manio. If you go online, you can get more information at kindcocktails.com for the exact location. But Holden would love for you to come to this 3 cocktail class that's taking place on a Sunday, December 17th, starting at 4 o'clock. Again, looks like it's going to be a great time. Cousins Oysters is going to be there. And I believe, I think I know who that is. I don't want to say the wrong person, though, or the wrong people, but I think I know who runs that business. Great people. Again, all of these different events and more can be found online on our website at outerbanksthisweek.com. That's just a handful of the things that are coming up in the near future. You go to our website and you click on the events tab at outerbanksthisweek.com, and you're going to see an array of events ranging from different trivia nights to different things going on at like the aquarium that you can go to, different things up in Corolla all the way down to Ocracoke, all else in between down in Hatteras Island. So many fun things going on. And again, I can't encourage you enough to participate in these activities, because if you don't, they will go away. All right, that's let's see. We're going to wrap this thing up here in just a few moments. Let me shout out though real quick to Juan Cheese Marina. Juan Cheese Marina, they're doing some different things. If you go to their website, juancheesemarina.com, or you go online to their social media, they've got some specials going on right now. You can buy 2 shirts, get one half off. You can buy a $100 gift card and get an extra $20 on top of that for free. So you buy a $100 gift certificate to Juan Cheese Marina, it turns into $120. Okay. And if you buy 2 shirts, you can get you get your next one for half price. Lots of different deals that they're going to be working with. Miss Brenda does a fantastic job down there at Juan Cheese Marina, 4457 Mill Landing Road in Juan Cheese. And again, online at juancheesemarina.com. All right, that's going to really do it for me for this week's episode 42 of the podcast. I have... Oh, gosh. I tried to get this audio clip. He sent me an audio clip, and I could not get it to upload for one reason or another. So he's probably going to be upset with me. But next week, I have a special guest, and his name is the one, the only, Matty P. Yeah, y'all remember Matty P. He's did OBX After Dark for us here on the podcast throughout the summer, where he was hitting up a different spot every week, and he was giving us the rundown on where he was, and he was doing the BPL. Let me see if I can quote him real quick. He was texting me earlier, and he was just saying some funny stuff, and let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Where did he send it? There he is, Matty P. He said the BPL is back and better than ever. So we're going to get Matty P in here to talk to us next week, tell us about some of the off-season hot spots on the Outer Banks, as well as some of the places that he's been going to in the evenings for some great times and things of that nature. So looking forward to having Matty P in the studio with us as well as I think he and I, prior to recording the podcast next week, we're going to go over to Frost Colony and grab a bite. That way we can talk a little bit more about what they do at Frost Colony in downtown Manio. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to having him. He's a good buddy of mine. I love him a lot, and I can't appreciate him enough, I guess. Well, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm out of here. Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode number 42. Again, we'll have Maddie P coming up next week, and we're going to talk Christmas and maybe some different Christmas movies because, like I said, I'm an Ernest Saves Christmas kind of guy, and I see there's a meme that floats around. It says, there wouldn't be a Christmas if Ernest hadn't saved it back in 1987. True story. True story. Christmas would be non-existent. All you little jerks wouldn't know anything about it, all you little kids, if Ernest hadn't saved it back in 1987. So, again, one more time, want to mention the podcast where I had Santa Claus come in last few days ago and whatnot and jump on the podcast with me, the special Christmas edition. Please go back and take a listen to that and listen to where Santa likes to go on the Outer Banks and all the different fun things he likes to do and some of the questions that I had for him as well. So, Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode number 42 in the books. I'm Justin, and I am out of here. Again, next week, tune in to see your boy, or to hear your boy, rather, Maddie P. I'm out. Later.
This has been another epic edition of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. Follow us on social media and be sure to listen every Thursday for a new episode.